Hey, good afternoon, everyone. How are we? Happy birthday, Cross. Thanks for joining us on your birthday. Hope you're having a good day. What's up, hello? Dark, what would you do different? Cathalatic, how you doing? Mad Eye, good day. Hey, Roberta, good evening. Kubo Patterson, good afternoon. Meta. How you doing, Night Ghost? Hey, Jen. First time chat on Twitch. Rad Milo, welcome. Hello. Hello, Alik. First time chat. Kick the Great, good afternoon. Welcome. You are new to the channel. I normally stream Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays now. But this week we've been poorly. Sorry, chat. I've had a terrible cold. It's gone now. But it's been rough. So I just couldn't be bothered, in all honesty. It's just didn't want to stream while feeling that crap. But I'm good now. Today's just a short one. We are covering the Division 2's live stream. They're going live in 28 minutes. We've got some PTS Phase 2 changes. We're going to go over them before they go live. And we're just going to watch a stream, co-stream it, react afterwards. Tomorrow the PTS Phase 2 goes live. Preload today. And then tomorrow we're going to do a stream on the PTS Phase 2. Won't be as long as the one we did last time, because last time we went 24 hours, nearly. But this time we'll go live, check the changes, make some content. And wait for the new season, which I think they're going to announce today a delay. Well, they're definitely going to announce it today, a delay. We'll speak about that as well in a second. Apart from the cold, Patterson, I'm doing good. Just give me some good time to get... I've been smashing Star Wars Outlaws. I love it. I've completed it 3 times now. I'm working on 100%. So I've absolutely smashed that this week. Among other stuff. Nearly finished with it. Such a good game. It starts in just under 30 minutes. No, tomorrow the new gear won't be live, but PTS Phase 2, it'll be the second phase of testing it. They've made some adjustments. Nothing like a snot bucket, I know, right? You know what? Since I've been eating healthily, that wasn't as... Normally when I have a cold, it is a snot bucket. But that weren't that bad. It was more just headache, chest, and coughing. You don't believe they're making a Division 3? Well, they are. Like, they definitely are. They're taking on staff and everything. Iron Horse Raid, not today, sorry. What's up, Tidy News? Good day. Right, let's quickly go over a few things of what we can expect today. And again, welcome if you're new. Please follow, subscribe. New month, guys. New month, new goal. We smashed the goal last month, 182. Thank you so much. Let's reset that to 0 for this month. I got a date, actually, for this month's 24-hour stream. There's only one day that I can do it. So let me just give you that date quickly. Before I turn the screen on. So it's going to be 2 weeks tomorrow. So we're going to do our very first Xbox 24-hour stream on Friday, 18th of October. It's the only day that I can do it. So... Like, I wanted to do it 2 weeks after that, but that goes into November. That'll be the 1st of November, so we've got to do it on the 18th. So 2 weeks tomorrow, Xbox, first 24-hour stream ever. And next month is our anniversary month. So we've got to have a 24-hour stream for our anniversary month. So let's smash our goal this month. Show you my screen. That'll help. There we go. So, first of all, why I think, well, they are delaying it. Daria replied to somebody on Twitch the other day saying that because of the seasonal character changes, this season was always going to get pushed back. Yes, Rav's fully automatic. It's great. Games aren't made in a day. Imagine if they were, Pack. Takes some years to make them, and they still come out bad. Imagine they had only a day. But that's very true. Takes a while. Apparently, Tom Henderson on Twitch, who's a good resource for leaks and stuff, says don't expect it for another 4 years at least. Don't know what he's going off. But yeah. He says don't expect the Division 3 for 4 years. 48-hour anniversary stream.
Safe area detected.
No. They weren't rolling back the nerves entirely, Jeremy, but I will. 72-hour stream all platform. No, Smuggler. No. Yeah, what would you do differently? Revert the nerfs back where it was. Second, I would nerf the modifiers from the enemy buffs because they already hit hard enough to begin with. Too early for nerfs before DLC. We will get it when we get it, but we will. You believe it'll be about 4 years too. So I was hoping a bit sooner. Just by going by how quick they did Avatar and Star Wars, I was hoping we could maybe see it in 26. But I doubt it. I do have an idea. Hello, I do have an idea, but we're not going to discuss that yet. You're free that evening, Tidy News. For sure, I don't even know what we're doing yet. Grinding watch levels, making builds. It'd be good to run with some of you. Make sure you jump in. Yeah, get IP. Right, why the season's going to be delayed. If we go into our seasons menu, it's the end of the season now, but they've added on 4 new global events. 5, sorry. So in 4 days, 19 hours. So that's this Tuesday coming. Next reset, we get Shade Exposed. Then 1 week later, we get Polarity Switch. And then a week after that, we get Hollywood. A week after that. Is that a week after that? 1 week, 5 days. 2 weeks, 2 days. These aren't adding up. They're not adding up, right? Is that just me? Because in 1 week, 1 day, that's going to be a Friday. 1 week, 5 day. I think that one's not meant to be there. I think we're getting Shade Exposed. Then we're getting Hollywood. Unless... I have no idea. Then we're getting Guardians. Which, again, doesn't add up. And Golden Bullet. Anyway, Golden Bullet is 2 weeks, 6 days away. So that's practically just in 3 weeks from yesterday. Or the other day. So we're looking at... That will then end in 4 weeks. So, judging by that... Season 2... could be starting on the 29th of October, potentially, or the week later in November. But you're looking at around that time for Season 2 to start, towards the back end of the month. It's meant to be pretty much now. But yeah, so that confirms the delay. They said they're going to speak about that today, and what they're also going to be speaking about today is the PTS changes. So let's bring that up on screen. I've got it ready. I'm prepared. So a lot of people fed back from Phase 1. And this is what they've got for Phase 2, which is going live tomorrow. I read all this out pretty much in a video yesterday. But they said thank you for all the feedback. Apparently the Striga exotic... New exotic Striga assault rifle wasn't working properly in Phase 1. It will be working properly in Phase 2. They've buffed the new brand set. They've also buffed the new gear set as well. Still not sure what to think about the new Virtuoso gear set, but the range has changed from 30 to 25 meters because there's like a range if you're within 30 or further than 30, so now that will be 25. And the timer, you only got the extra damage for 10 seconds, I think, or something. Now that's gone to 15 seconds. So check that out tomorrow. We'll check the Striga out tomorrow. Priority objectives. They've done something that I fed back, which I'm happy about. The biggest complaint with the priority objectives, which I was raging about, was oh no, sorry, I'm talking modifiers. 2 steps back. Priority objectives. They've changed these a little bit, so this is good. So there should be an option to abandon objectives. So they're sorting that. So with the priority objectives now, you can abandon them. We got stuck on our 24-hour stream. We weren't able to continue because we had to play a game of Conflict and we couldn't get in a game. But that was because it was a PTS. But also, we got a settlement blockade, which is quite rare. So we couldn't progress because of that either. So they're removing things like the settlement blockade from it. So it's more streamlined and it's more fun, and adding an abandoned feature. Now on to modifiers. The Stellite coating modifier was one of the biggest complaints, especially from myself. I was raging. It's awful. There was a UI issue in Phase 1. The icon above their heads is meant to change color depending on what distance you need to be away from them. So we said if they did that, it wouldn't be so bad. And they are doing that. Also, the description was incorrect and misleading, so they're updating that. I don't know whether it was incorrect and misleading. It was definitely confusing. But we figured it out in the end. And it was fine. The worst part about it was that, for me, you just didn't know what range you had to be from them. So now what they're saying is, the icon changes color depending on the range from which the enemy must be taken down, short, medium, or long, and the bar shows how many stacks you need to deplete. You deplete the stacks with each shot. So that will be much better now. So when we see one of these enemies, they'll have yellow, blue, or red above their head, and I'll know instantly whether I need to be a red, well, long, medium, or close range. They discuss how it felt frustrating. They are aware that it's the most abundant modifier globally. It's due to the fact that a lot of the common enemies were getting it, so you were seeing a lot of it. I uploaded a clip the other day. Let me show you this clip. If we got time, we do have time. This is how annoying it was. So annoying. And Hello was in chat on a 24-hour, like, oh, I find it fine. Well, this is how annoying it is. I think you've seen it. This is how annoying it can be. Again, this has been changed. But here, 4 spawn in at once at this spawn. We got 4 of them. And I have to work out, there's no colour in this, it's Phase 1.
Serious trauma detected.
Take this.
So straight away, I got 4 of them, and I have to work out what they are, because the game ain't telling me. There's 2 here as well. It's an absolute freaking nightmare. I can't do damage to any of them at this moment. So I'm just like, survive. I just gotta survive, and I've got to find out which one takes damage from what range. It was horrible how they had it. Absolutely horrible.
Needed.
So this is all changing. So if this was to happen again, for starters, 4 won't spawn at once like that because they're removing that modifier from common enemies. It's going to be on more scarcer enemies, so you won't see this modifier as much. And secondly, they'll have a colour above their heads so you know what range you have to take them down at. You don't need to try and work it out. So this was kind of like worst case scenario clip, don't get me wrong. But I was bumping into this quite a lot on the PTS Phase 1 last 2 weeks ago. I was absolutely raging. It was so annoying. And this is heroic as well. This isn't like I'm playing on normal or anything. This is... I had to leave the area because most of them were long range. You can see I'm getting a bit of damage off some of them now. And that's what you have to do. Like, I was at the end of Jefferson Plaza, and I couldn't actually get a distance far enough away from the enemy to do any damage, because what happens is until you get that shield gone, they're taking 90% damage reduction. So if you're playing heroic and they're elite, it's quite a lot. So he was close in the end as well. But this is the other thing, it's hard to work out when there's like 4 at a time. You'll lose track of which enemy you're aiming at and who's what. But we did it in the end, we got through it. It was highly annoying, and for a casual player, terrible. So they've made adjustments to that, and I do think we'll give them a try tomorrow. It'll be interesting to see. So they're removing that modifier from... So, as you've already noticed, this is due to the fact that common enemies are the most likely to have it equipped. Unfortunately, we do not have the limit on how many members of a fire team can have the same modifier equipped at once. However, we will take the following actions. Remove the eligibility for Stellite from a couple of common enemies, such as Black Tusk Assault and Thrower, and assign them to a scarcer modifier, like Master of None or Recruit. As Terrify requires the NPC archetype to be exclusively melee. Slightly lower chance for each enemy to have a modifier equipped at higher end difficulties like Heroic. So I'll drop from 80% to 65 to 70. We'll see how that works. We will see. I will play the PTS tomorrow, put it on Heroic. We'll have the directives, well, not the directives, the modifiers on. And hopefully it won't be as annoying. And I do think just knowing what the range is going to be a huge help. Huge help. They needed to do that at the minimum. Balancing, they've done a bit of balancing. There's some complaints about the sledgehammer. So sledgehammer's still going to work the way it worked. They were going to change it where it didn't work for the group anymore, just worked for yourself, the additional damage to armor. But it's going to work for the group again, but it is going down to 15%. Mosquito will be 25%. But they'll both be team-wide buffs. So what's the sledgehammer right now? Isn't it 40? I don't know. St. Elmo's engine, then they're going to remove the round nerf, so still have the same rounds. Same with the Ouroboros. They're going to remove that nerf, but they're still getting a few more nerfs on there. They're just not going to remove the mag size. Obliterate talent is going to 20 stacks now rather than 17. So there's too much of a nerf, but still getting nerfed from 25 to 20. And gear and brand sets, they spoke about strikers and how it does need a nerf, which I agree, it does. I know people are complaining, but it's too OP. It's needed a nerf for a long time. I guess we just got to deal with it. It ain't even that much of a nerf, okay? It's taken the backpack down from 100% to 90%. So if you've got 100 stacks, instead of getting 100% extra damage, at 4 stacks, you get 90. It's really not that much of a nerf. It was 85 to begin with. They've now done it to 90. So on 200 stacks, that's 180 and down from 200%. So on 200 stacks, you are losing 20% damage. But to be fair, if you're playing with the modifiers in the new season, you make it back up anyway. So that were the notes. That's what they're going to be talking about today. I don't know if they're going to be talking about anything else today. But I think that's pretty much it. They'll be discussing Season 2 delay. I'm guessing when it's going to be released. And they'll be talking about the Phase 2 patch notes and what changes they made and the feedback that they've got. And they're going to be streaming it all live on their Division game Twitch. That's where we're going to be watching it from. And they go live in about 10 minutes' time. So when we do these, I mute myself. I take my camera off. We watch it together. I don't interfere. I won't be talking over them or anything like that. And then we'll react afterwards. Ooh, they're live now. Look at that. Perfect timing. Absolute perfect. Well, they're live in 15 minutes anyway. Have we got sound working? We do. We do. We'll mute something now. On the Xbox 24 hour, do you mean my die? I don't know, probably. No reanimated, I know, right, Smuggler? It's only a few days long by the looks of it. Is that what you think it is? Rather than a week, it's going to be a few days. There's meant to be this, maybe they'll discuss it today. There's meant to be this manhunt event where we're going all through the old manhunts. I wonder if that'll be tied into all of that. Ah, Alan mentioned the same thing. So they're adding those globals for the season reruns. Okay. So maybe they're going to be starting Tuesday. I hope not, hello. I hope not, but maybe. there is no date on the DLC right now, though, why? Right? A team of 8 together, and we should raid tomorrow night with the new modifiers. See what I mean, Hobag? That shit was happening to me, and Hello was in stream like, well, I find them fine. It made me rage even more. It was bullshit. It properly was. It needed changing. So I'm glad they've made adjustments. I won't be streaming tomorrow night, hello. That'd be a great idea, though. I'm going to be streaming tomorrow day. I'm hoping the PTS goes live early like it did 2 weeks ago so I can get on and get off and get content made and then free for the weekend. What's up, Pony? Morning, Agent Geo. I agree. Good on them. Okay, I'm over to you as well, Twitch. Sorry. 2 chats. It took 3 to 4 years for Outlaws, and that was a new IP. I say we were looking at 2 to 3 years. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking of like that, but we'll see. Yeah, I miss those every 4 days, I see. Wrong, they gotta listen to the community. No point nerfing our gear in a 6-year-old game. Okay, I do want to. I'm not arguing with you, Foxhound, but this whole listen to the community, this is getting a bit old, to be honest with you. So, who are they listening to? You or the community? Because that's your view. I had my view, and this is the thing. We've all got loads of different views. Some people like it, some people don't. So, who do they listen to? Foxhound? Yeah, you can't really say listen to the community. There's mixed views. Like, I fully believe... I've said Strikers needs a nerf for a long time, and a lot of people have. A lot of people don't like the sounds of that. So what they've got to do is look at the stats that they have, you know? Statistics, things like that. They've got a lot more data than we do to look at to determine the choices they are making, as well as the feedback. If you go by feedback alone and listen to the community, then there's so many different people with different views. It's a bit of a silly statement at this point. Like, unless it's like overwhelmingly, like everybody's on, you know, it's like 90%, 100% of people are saying the same thing, which in this case they're not. Like, they're really not. It's very mixed, Fox, very mixed. Agree, Matt. It gets very boring. The game is far too easy right now. What's up, Zeppelins? Especially for like the veteran. That's something else. People, you know, the vets. We just steamroll through all the content. What they're trying to do and what they've advised, what they're trying to do with seasonal characters as well, is just bring our power down a little bit because they got to a point where we're just too powerful. Like, every bit of content they give us, we just burn through. So they're trying to find a way to extend this game to the Division 3, and they're trying their best. They've got to try things out. Like, Striker's far too powerful. It burns through every single bit of content. And whenever you've got a game where everybody just uses the same freaking thing, it kind of shows. But that's just my opinion. Again, you know, they can't just listen to my opinion. They can't just listen to your opinion. There's loads of different opinions. They got to look at the statistics and stuff, which they're doing. I'm not saying that we haven't got the right to be powerful. We have got the right to be powerful. It's great to be powerful. But wouldn't it be good to have another brand set to use? Gear set to use? Would that not be fun? Yeah, would it not be fun to take Strikers off and use something else? What's up, Queenie? Good day. It's 10%. Like, Strikers getting nerfed by 10%, that's all. Legendary open world would be sick. What's up, Phil? I was Pony posting that, but I heard the news. Obviously, condolences, and hope your squad's okay. Real terrible news. Sorry to hear, man. How's it going? I'm Nob. Good day. I don't think the nerfs make hardly any difference from what I played. People are forgetting the modifiers that are coming in as well. Like, you're actually hitting harder. Aye, my die. You still need a perfect descent. Nothing's nerfed for me because of that, Pony. I still haven't touched expertise. So, I'm one of those that don't do expertise. So yeah, exactly. If I expertise, then I'm not going to see the nerfs anyway. I'm still going to be hitting harder. I've actually got to max expertise for the very first time now. I'm actually starting expertise and stuff. We'll have to run soon, my die. We'll have to run. What? Have to be next week now. Should we set a date next week? Yes, directives is still a thing, I believe. I'd like to say easily as well. You could do everything in the game easily without expertise. Like, expertise is pretty pointless. You don't need it to do any content. Watch level, you kind of do. Like, you don't. You can do everything without watch level as well, but it's not easily done. Watch level really does help. But then, once you've got your watch level, expertise just doesn't feel needed. That's why I've never used it, because I didn't want to make the game too easy. But, it's not needed. Every bit of content in this game is doable without expertise. Five minutes, guys. I'm going to remove... Hang on. I think I've got a scene where it's just pure blank. I do. There we go. So yeah, we'll switch to that scene when they go live. It's all good, Mad Eye. Do you know what I miss? I miss the days where... I miss the days. As good as like community interaction and community helping you make your games great, and it started off as a great thing, I actually miss the days where developers just made a game and said, there you go, play it. I miss those days. I really do. If you think about it, like, we complain about the Division delays and how things get delayed all the time. But if Division just did that, just made the game and said, there you go, feedback after, we won't have these delays. It's the fact that they put everything out there and communicate it, and then we as humans can't agree on anything. So we have loads of different things to say. Like, I have one thing to say, you have something to say, he has something to say, she has something to say, the next guy has something to say, and they're all different opinions. And they've got, like, I see this in the Discord community all the time, so I don't ask for feedback no more from the community. I just do what I want to do and then get feedback later, because you're then hounded with like 100 different opinions, and what do? Like, you try and keep everyone happy in the end. And when you try and keep everyone happy, guess what you don't do? Keep everyone happy. And that's kind of what's happened with the Division 2 in the last few months, don't you think? I think so, anyway. I used to love it when a game got announced. I could read up about it, make my own choice, and play it. It was either good or it was bad. And they'd learn from it. You should do a Red Dead 2 playthrough if you haven't already. I'm going to Hobag. I did play Red Dead 2, never finished it. I never finished Red Dead 1 either. Agent Ghost Fox, what's up, Bernie? Good day. Noah Koa, how you doing? Rather be here than Division chat. That's why we do this. We keep this chat non-toxic. Obviously have your opinion. No problem with that, but do not be toxic here. I don't even show that chat. I can only imagine what that chat's like. Can only imagine. Still have the Spyro PS1 demo. There we go. Remember that little demo disc that came with fucking magazines? You know, always facts, always. Great thing about community is that you can leave anytime, not like family. What's up, Gustavo? Question of the day: why do we need a 15-minute timer where we look at a countdown screen for 15 minutes? At least you know they're going live, right? GC's Good Charlotte, my favorite band. I got a Good Charlotte tattoo as well. I don't think you can see it. It's there. It was Good Charlotte Rock, but now it's just GCROCK. I don't know. That's what it was originally. Right, we're gonna in 1 minute. I'm gonna remove my face, put the sound on. Again, I won't be reacting over it. We'll watch it together, and then I'll be with you guys in chat. And then at the end, we'll discuss it. But I don't think there's anything going to be like groundbreaking today or any huge news or anything like that, like 2 weeks ago. I think it is just discussing what we just discussed. Maybe announcing these Manhunt reruns, hopefully. Which may be starting on Tuesday by the looks of it. But we'll see. Full volume. Let me know if there's any issues. Enjoy, guys.
Hello, and it seems like we're live. So.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Nice to see you again. It's been only a week since our live stream, but time flies. A lot of things has happened since then. But before we start, I'm going to introduce myself and my co-hosting partner. You probably already know us, but if you don't, if you're new to this game, if this is the first time you're watching the Division 2 live stream, my name is Daria. I'm community developer for Division 2, and with me, my co-host Yannick, creative director
Hi.
for Division 2. How are you today?
I'm pretty good, pretty excited.
Yep, there are a lot of things for us to
Yeah.
discuss today. To just give you an overview, we'll definitely talk about the changes following PTS Phase 1. Some of you may have seen the developer notes that we released a few days ago, and there are quite a few exciting updates in there we would love to recite again. Also, we'll talk about the changes that were made to modifiers, to objectives. Those are new features that you will have access to with the next season. And we'll also talk about the new upcoming event that is called Throwback Event. This is a completely new thing, never been done before, and we'll explain it in more detail. I mean, there were a few hints mentioned last time because I just could not really shut myself up. This is a very exciting new thing. But before we start, there is one thing that we need to address concerning XP Boost event that we had recently, and unfortunately it did not work for everyone who wanted to participate, but Yannick wanted to share some good updates regarding future XP events, and I promised not to put him on the spot, and I'm already doing it.
Just before the stream went live, I said, "Don't put me on the spot," and that's what she's doing. No, I mean it's like we're very happy with the XP event and how it went. Obviously, it didn't work for everyone, and this is a new problem that we're going to have to look into, and obviously we want to fix that. It's the first time we do this kind of XP event, so we're a bit experimenting here. But still, overall, I think it sounds like for the people who could at least participate, this was a lot of fun. I played myself and I had a lot of fun. So to the question I think we had last time asking if we would do more of those, yes, we will be doing more of those because again, this is it was a lot of fun and everybody had fun and enjoyed it. So we will you will see XP events come more regularly moving forward. But yes, we also need to fix that issue where for some people it did not work.
And from what I know, it was already identified and the team was working, making sure that this will not happen with the events in the future. Fingers crossed, because that was a really nice event. And I saw a lot of people joking about us having X10 XP boost. So maybe for Christmas, I don't know. If you guys behave, maybe we'll consider it. Oh, people asking in the chat if I got a new haircut. No, it's just it's actually my hair got way longer than it was supposed to, so I didn't really have a time for a haircut. But this is not about me. This is
thank you, chat, for being nice.
This is not about my makeup or haircut, unfortunately. But yeah, let's move to balancing. There are a lot of new exciting updates coming with Phase 2. By the way, I realized I completely forgot to confirm that Phase 2 will start on Friday. Preload is supposed to be available tonight. Also, we'll be releasing the patch notes for Phase 2 right after the live stream, similar as last time, so you will be able to see all the changes in detail, not only the changes that were mentioned in the dev notes. Pretty much everything else is going to be there, so please be on the lookout for those once we're done. But yeah, back to you. Some of the most exciting updates regarding balancing. We saw a lot of complaints about nerfs for St. Elmo, for example, or Ouroboros, and those are just a few of the things that will be reverting with the second phase. For example, St. Elmo will have -10 rounds in the next PTS phase.
Yeah, we are partially reverting. So for St. Elmo, for example, so and I think some people pointed this out, but you need to take into account that there's a buff to the M4, which actually impacts St. Elmo as well. So it gains power there. We've removed some of the power from St. Elmo on Phase 1. And we're going to keep that. The one thing that we've decided to revert is the change in rounds. So we have removed the -10 it got in Phase 1. So it's going to keep the same amount of rounds, 70 rounds in PTS Phase 2. And same with Ouroboros. We are removing part of the nerf to kind of bring it up a bit again.
And also for Ouroboros, the rate of fire was adjusted following Phase 1, and it just went from 1275 to 1250. I have everything, and also it's not.
You have the numbers.
Yeah,
I don't have them
the
in
numbers.
mind,
Yeah, because I would not be able to memorize all of that.
And it's I mean, and we've got a lot of feedback on changes, right? And of course, every time we do nerfs, it tends to kind of focus a lot of the conversation on those. And we've tried to be to be cautious with those nerfs. I've seen some conversations in chat when before we went online on people asking why are we even nerfing what works and why don't we just bring everything up? And we've explained that already in the past, but I can do that again. It's important for us to try to keep some balance, and I don't think in any of the cases that we have in this update we've really drastically nerfed anything into the ground. I hope not. We've tried to be very cautious with those changes, but we can't just simply boost everything to that level, because then if you have one outlier that is more powerful than everything else, you boost everything, that becomes the baseline. Then next time something is more powerful, you boost everything again, and you're just introducing what we call power creep, which means that we're just making the players more and more powerful, and then the game content does not follow. So we need to try to keep a power level that is balanced. That being said, again, across the board on all those changes, including all the buffs we've done, I mean, overall, we have made a lot of things more powerful. So we have looked at the best performers and tried to bring the worst performers closer to that level. But then the few outliers that were above the crowd, those we try to bring down ever so slightly to try to narrow the gap between the items.
And also one of the examples is going to be Sledgehammer and Mosquito Song that are going to be reverted to how they are on live now for TU21 version, the current live version, and Mosquito will keep its updated talent, and also both Sledgehammer and Mosquito will retain the team-wide debuff.
Yeah, exactly. So for Sledgehammer, we proposed in phase 1 to remove the team-wide buff and make it for the player only that used it. This was obviously very unpopular, and we agree. Maybe that was pushing it a bit too far. So we've decided to bring it back to what it was. So it will be a team buff that you get for using Sledgehammer. We're going to change the value a bit, though. I think we're lowering the buff, therefore. So it's the team buff, but it's going to be a bit less powerful. Therefore, we're keeping the change to Mosquito. So you can have something similar with Mosquito. You can combine both and get even more buffs from that.
And another thing that we need to mention is the regarding balancing gear and brand sets with favorite strikers battle gear. Also, there were a few mentions that a lot of you were happy with the strikers changes, but it's important to mention that only the backpack was affected with the changes, and the main functionality of the 4-piece bonus is still there and just as powerful. But in phase 2, the value of backpack stacks will be brought a little bit higher, from
0.85 to 0.9.
To 0.9, yeah.
So it's we're bringing it up a bit. It's still lower compared to what you have on the game today. So it allows us to still try to make sure that we are limiting the cases where striker becomes overpowered compared to anything else in the game. But it is less, a bit less than what we proposed on phase 1.
And we can also mention a few updates that are going to be coming to new weapons and gear that will be available starting with TU22. And for example, let's start with Strega. I honestly still not 100% sure if it should be pronounced Strega or Strega. If you guys know in the chat, please let us know. So the thing that we need to mention first and foremost, that it was not functioning the way it was supposed to, the way it was intended in the phase 1, and it had infinite range, also I don't know how many stacks, but basically infinity.
Yeah, it was stacking more than it should have.
Yeah. So it has been fixed now, and during the phase 2, you would be able to finally experience it as how it was designed, how it's supposed to play. So we really ask you to pay close attention to how it works in delivery of feedback regarding it. And also there are additional change that's coming to Strega already, and I think you mentioned, you remember what that was?
Yeah, the range was broken on the PTS, so you couldn't really get a good appreciation of that, but the item was broken anyway, so, I know a lot of people were excited, but maybe it's because it wasn't working as intended. That being said, there's one change we've decided to make with Strega, which is lowering the range at which it applies the mark to other enemies. So the range was 20 meters, and we've lowered that to 10. And the idea being that really, especially at the beginning, when a group of enemies spawn, then this is where you're gonna get to apply as many stacks as you can, or as many marks as you can. And then as they spread out, then it becomes a bit less efficient. But we've decided not to change the damage buff from it, but instead reduce a bit the range.
And also for the new gear set that is also coming with TU22, Virtuoso 4 pieces bonus was updated, range was changed from 30 to 25 meters, and also timer was increased from 10 to 15 seconds.
Yeah, I've seen in chat someone was asking about Scorpio as well. I don't know that we have it listed here, but yes, we're also changing the changes to Scorpio. Where I don't have the numbers in mind, but we're kind of reverting halfway back. So I think it was it.
I also
I'm looking that way. I'm trying to look at Daya's screen because she's trying to dig up the change.
I'm trying to dig them up. I unfortunately cannot see them now, but.
This is me putting Daya on the spot now. That's the payback.
Yeah, and I promised Yannick that I will have everything, but yeah, I do not see anything for Scorpio. Let's see what else we have.
But anyway, I think the first stack was at 1, and then on PTS 1 we made it at 3, and now it's going to be 2. So yeah, we're changing the values here. We're tweaking them to try to be a bit less drastic than what we had on PTS 1.
But not all the changes were about gear and weapons. There were also some changes concerning the new seasonal journey that we talked about last time. I also really hope that you guys had a chance to test it out in the previous phase. If you missed on that, no worries. The same content will be available starting on Friday, and throughout the weekend you will have a chance to look at the modifiers, objectives, counts, and all the new components to new revamped seasonal journey. So talking about the changes, I don't know what do you want to start with?
Well, I have priority objectives open here, so I can talk about that. So there's one change we made that was based on feedback, which is that yes, it can happen sometimes that you choose a priority objective, you realize you don't like it, or you realize you cannot make it for some reason. We've actually added the option now, you will see at the bottom, we've actually added the option to abandon an objective. This will be on a cooldown, so you can't do it as much as you want. I believe it's a 60 minutes cooldown right now. But we don't want to end up in a situation where you are stuck and you cannot do priority objectives anymore because you picked one that didn't work for you, and then you can't progress. So now you see down there, you can just abandon the objective, you confirm, and we give you new ones. And now, of course, if I take another one, then I won't see the abandon anymore.
And also some objectives were removed that were holding up progression.
Yes.
So that is another update to priority objectives, and some of the time-limited objectives, or something that it's impossible to complete, is not a part of the rotation anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to see over time, what we can add and what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. Maybe as the season goes, we'll realize that some of them are not are not a good option here. So we'll adapt. But yes, for now at least the ones that have been pointed out to us that really don't make sense, we've removed them. One thing that is unique for this PTS, it's not gonna be like that on the game. And now, of course, I don't I don't see it anymore. But on the first roll before I had it, you would have seen that I had a lot of modifiers under here. So for this PTS, just to give you a chance to experiment with the modifiers a bit more, we've actually increased the chances to get a modifier as reward from the priority objectives. So this is just, again, unique for the PTS. Don't imagine that it's going to be as generous when the game comes out, when the update comes out. But for now, at least for the PTS, you will be able to much more easily unlock the modifiers, so you can test them out and give us feedback.
I didn't really get a modifier last time, so I'm looking forward to it. Talking about modifiers, there were quite a few updates to them as well following Phase 1. First and foremost, I think UI issue was the most commented on, and that one was a little bit misleading. It was fixed, so I would say that there was no real connection between functionality and the color, but now the icon should be changing depending on the range, right, and how far from the enemy you are in, like, not really how far, but
so this is for the stellite coating. I hope I'm saying this right. Where basically I don't see the enemy modifiers here. Oh, it's not. Okay. The hostile modifier. So stellite coating. We had the issue, and we told you that the implementation was not final anyway, but now we've made the change. So when you are actually going to see the icon on an NPC, and we'll go in gameplay after that, maybe I can show it, but when you're going to see the icon on an NPC, the color of the icon is going to change to tell you what range you actually need to reach to damage the NPC. So you will actually now know which one you're going to or which range you need to move to. We also made some tweaks to that modifier and how it applies to NPCs. Redefined a bit which NPCs it can apply to. So and redistributed the other modifiers instead. So since this was a modifier that was applied on the assault archetype, for example, which is the most common archetype, of course, that was the one you would encounter the most. So now we've changed that to put other modifiers instead. So overall, it's going to be less common to encounter this modifier because we know that this is the one that we got the most feedback on. So it should be it should be a bit less in your face.
Yeah, and there are a few other smaller updates to other modifiers as well. Those will be listed under the patch notes. So please let us know what you think about all those changes after trying them out on PTS.
Yeah. One thing that I don't know if we actually had planned to talk about, but you will notice that we actually have an inventory icon now and an inventory slot for the for the modifiers. On the last PTS, we actually put it instead of the all gear tab or the all gear button, which we got a lot of feedback on because some people are very attached to that tab, and it makes sense. So we've actually looked at that and we found that space up there to put it. So we've lowered the size of the specialization, the signature weapon icon, and instead we've put the modifiers there. So now they have their own place. They sit, and in the process, we've also actually brought up the shade watch here. So don't be surprised if you're looking for your shade watch. It's not at the bottom anymore. It's up here. So up there, you basically have the three, the three build options that actually have their own customization menu in there. So the all gear button is back.
Is there anything else we want to show in the build?
Should I try to play a bit just to see if I can just show the icon of the modifier?
Yeah. I don't know why you're asking me for permission, of course. This is the purpose of this live stream.
You have the time in mind, so you tell me. I'm just gonna run around and see if I can face some NPCs, and hopefully we're gonna be able to. Don't send me friend invites, people. I'm not going to accept them.
So people in the chat saying that I also need to play a little bit. God knows I want to, but I will probably just release the photos of our current setup on Twitter later for you guys to see and maybe have a good laugh. No disrespect to Tori and George, because they are the ones who set it up, and it's honestly it's awesome. It is great. I love it so much better than what we had previously in our podcast room, which is nice and cozy, but having the green screen and possibility to just stream the build and talk about all the changes is quite nice. So the thing is, we only have one PC at the moment and a few screens because the space is very cramped and tiny. So yeah, for now we'll have to work with what we can. But yeah, let's concentrate on what's happening on the screen right now. Oh, and my chair suddenly went down.
Okay, can you hear me still? Because I've lost audio in my headphones, so just it's back. Very good. Of course, you're gonna see I'm not gonna have any NPC with that modifier now, just to annoy me. That's fine, you're all gonna die then.
Oh, by the way, we'll be answering all the questions from the chat once we are done with showing all the new changes and talking about things that we plan to talk about. So, stand by.
Why did I tell you not to send me invites? You're all gonna send me invites now? Well, I'm going to decline every single one of you.
So there is a question about reading the range indicator and how it's supposed to work. Do you want to take this one?
The range indicator next to the crosshair?
Yes.
Sure, yeah, so the way it works is that it when you aim at an NPC, it tells you what range it is at. So this one was at blue, you see this one is in the yellow range. So this defines the damage bonus that I will get on that NPC, and also if I have minor modifiers that are connected to that range, this is where those minor modifiers will be active. I'm calling them minor modifiers, they're actually called passive modifiers. Sorry. It's a lot of new words we're gonna have to learn. See, I'm trying to show something and we are not going to see it because that's how mean the game is to me.
But with the spawn rate, not the spawn rate, but I don't know, application rate of this modifier also decreased, right? So
maybe we've been too hard.
we just need everyone in the chat to concentrate their brain waves on us getting the NPC that we need. To answer the question if it's possible to activate this, yes, you will be able to activate modifiers if you want to. If you want to, there is an opportunity to do that. So yeah, it's not mandatory. It's not like you're gonna be forced to play with the modifiers if you don't want to.
Yeah, no, you can play the whole season without it if you want. Well, I guess there wasn't one. But trust me, I'm a dev. It works.
I mean, you tested it prior to the stream, right? So
Eventually, you can keep talking. I'm just going to play the video game, and when you hear me scream, it's because we will see one of those icons.
And we can actually talk about the upcoming throwback event while you're playing, if you want to.
Sure, yeah.
I can start. So the throwback event, the thing that I hinted at last time, and maybe it was a little bit premature, maybe I was not supposed to, but then again, who's gonna stop me? I'm already talking, right? So we just wanted to clarify a few things since it also raised a few questions from you guys. So first and foremost, this is the event that gonna be starting next week on October 8th. And the main idea behind the event is that you will get an opportunity to obtain some exotics that were previously available, so through previous level. Oh my god. We'll start again. So exotics from previous seasons. We know that right now they're also available through Countdown, but if you're a new player, that's a perfect opportunity for you to have a 100% chance of dropping those. So that's a really interesting event in that regard. Those are going to be the best exotics with 100% drop rate that you can get after eliminating the prime target of one of each previous seasons. And also you will be able to earn stars through global events and cash those stars for specific seasonal caches that would contain best exotics of the season. So it's really an amazing opportunity to just stock up on those old exotics.
Yeah.
But I will mention this because there were a lot of questions last time. Blueprints won't be available. That is an event only for weapons and gear itself.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, there will be a new, I think every 48 hours, I think we will have a new project that will be asking you to replay one of the Legacy Climax mission, and when you complete that project, you get that exotic guaranteed. And then yeah, we've also added the season caches to the global events vendor. So when you are going to play global events, you will be able to actually purchase season caches, and we've added here it is, and we've added the exotics to those caches. So for those of you that are missing specific exotics, this is going to be a great way to target those for people like me who still do not to this day have the Scorpio, for example. I will finally, hopefully, get my hands on the Scorpio. We basically just designed this event for me.
And same with the XP boosters, because I think Yannick was among those who enjoyed it the most.
Yes, the XP boost is also just for me to catch up. Me and my poor man's 500 shade level.
And yeah, to make sure that you're properly informed on how this entire event is going to work, of course, there's going to be an article detailing the mechanic. There's also going to be a calendar, so you know when to look for a specific prime target and also what sort of exotics coming back. But if you had a chance to play through all the previous seasons, you probably already know that. We'll still just repeat it for new players. And this entire event will last for 3 weeks, and I don't know if that's in connection with this event or people noticing the changes in the season wrapper after the update that we had this week. But some discussions arose among players about us extending the season. So it's not really an extension in a way. It was basically specifically designed for us to have an opportunity to engage with a throwback event. And also probably going to mention it, like, whenever you see end dates for seasons in the calendar. Do not assume that this is when the season will end or when the next is going to be released, because we update those wrappers almost all the time with different updates, so it's not a clear indicator of the end or the beginning of the next season.
Yeah, always take this with a grain of salt. We usually always put fake dates there because we don't want the season end date to reveal the start of the new season. So the throwback event is really here to in a way do a last farewell to the old season model, as we're going to be moving into the new revamped seasons. We just wanted to take a moment to say goodbye to. Trying to remember, I have the count, 11 seasons, I believe it's been, not including the reruns.
Yes, but there are going to be only 10 projects because we do not have enough time for all of them. We only have one.
11 because
Yes,
it's the one
with
that's
the
running
current,
right now.
with the
so
current one, yes.
We don't need a project for this one, but the other 10, because I think we are technically season 15 now. We've stopped counting like that, but I think this is season 15. What we have now, what is here is actually 16, but anyway.
And even though
You gotta stop playing the game and actually pay attention to what you're saying. So
No, I was just talking about the seasonal extension that caused some uproar within the community,
Yeah.
which is not really an extension, but at the same time,
well, we've never confirmed the date, so so it's you take it as you want. But again, the date that you see in game is you should never, or you should always take that with a big grain of salt, because that date, if you actually pay attention, you will see it changes with our updates.
and there is a good question about the modifiers. What happens in the group? Is it going to be mixed? Some people playing with modifiers, other playing without them. But I guess that would all come down to the group leader. If the group leader plays with a modifier, then the rest of the group is going to be forced to play.
The same as global events, so the group leader decides.
So, do you want to start taking questions from the chat?
Yeah, if I'm looking that way, it's because I'm reading you, I'm not paying attention. Can we save modifiers in our loadouts? No, I don't believe they're saved with the loadout. I think they're once they're applied, they will apply to all your loadouts. You can always change them, of course, on the fly, but I don't think you can save the configuration with the loadouts.
Modifiers account-wide or character-specific?
Account-wide. So when you unlock them, they're unlocked for the whole account. I was trying. There was a question earlier that I wanted to reply. Yes, actually, I don't know that I'm supposed to say that, but I will anyway. And Daria will maybe yell at me afterwards. But I've seen people asking about. It's back in here. What's this thing with Wall of Silent? So we've said already, and I think Daria confirmed that. But
Preparing to throw it at Yannick.
No, it's the same. You know, when you're going to go into a PTS build or going to go data mine some stuff, always take a big grain of salt. Sometimes we work on prototypes. Sometimes we have ideas that we start implementing in builds, and they just don't make it for multiple reasons. So just because someone found something in the build, take that with a big grain of salt, because it does not confirm anything. It does not mean anything. That's what I will say about that. Do not take it for granted.
Changing the topic back to modifiers, because there is a lot of question about them. Are modifiers necessary to progress the season?
No. You get more modifiers as you progress the season. In the season journey, you unlock modifiers. With the priority objectives, you also unlock modifiers. But you do not need to use the modifier to progress your season. As we've shown, you can turn them off, and then you can play the game as usual, and you're still going to get season progression from it. It's really an option for you if you want to.
But also modifiers are kind of going to become important for the new difficulty climax mission. That will also going to be introduced in the next season. We talked about it last time. All the details can be also found in the previous patch notes or the VOD of the live stream. But yeah, I mean, it's still going to be possible to play through climax without those, but it's going to be a tougher challenge.
Yeah, when the master difficulty comes out for the climax, yes, it is designed with the modifiers in mind. So if you decide not to use them, you will have a harder time. I see people are asking, or someone asking, like, what's the point of modifiers then? Well, the point is choice. You can use them or you cannot use them if you want. We're not going to make that mandatory. I'd rather that we try to make them fun, so you want to turn it on. And this is just our first batch. This is the first time we are doing it. So as usual, we create a new system. It's going to take a few seasons for us to iterate and to find the right formula. So I think this will be fun with those modifiers, and we will learn a lot from this season. And then next season will come with a fresh new set of modifiers, and we'll iterate on that. So if you don't like those, well, just turn them off and try again next season. Maybe the ones next season you will like even more.
Modifiers are going to replace global directives, and no, actually they will coexist, and there will be an opportunity to choose to play either with one or another. So they're not going anywhere.
But now you say we need them for climax mission. No, so just to be clear, the climax mission, without spoiling too much about the climax mission, you will be able to do the climax mission as usual. You don't need to have the modifier on to do the climax mission. The climax mission will also be made available in a new difficulty that is called Master. That difficulty, it's a whole new difficulty setting that we're creating specifically for climax missions. And that difficulty setting, if you use Master, we are going to design it with the modifier in mind. That doesn't mean you need the modifier. At no point you're not going to be able to do it mechanically because you don't have the modifier. But the combat, the way the encounters are designed and all of that, will be here to encourage the gameplay with the modifier. So you may have a harder time to do it without the modifiers, but that doesn't mean that you cannot do it. Once again, it will be your choice. Will modifiers give you more XP if you enable them? No, there is no incentive to enabling the modifiers at this point anyway. So far, we'd rather just make that a pure choice of taste if you like them or not. Once again, the modifier, the main modifier it's a bonus. I think one thing that kind of influences this whole discussion, because I know that some people are not necessarily convinced with the proposition so far, and that's fine. Bear in mind, on PTS, you haven't been able to unlock all the modifiers. So you've been playing with just kind of the basic version of it, whereas the enemies have all their hostile modifiers already. So you are a bit at an imbalance against them, because on the PTS, you cannot unlock all the modifiers. So keep that in mind as well, that as you play the season, you will unlock all the modifiers. You will have more options and you will have more tools to actually counter the hostile modifiers. So try this out when the season is out, and then give us feedback on how you think this works.
There was also a question about modifiers availability for raids.
For raids, yeah, as far as I know, they will be enabled in the raid as well, in the raids.
I honestly don't remember that, but someone in the chat said we talked about it last time, so just watch the previous live stream. Probably, us from the past knew better than us from the future.
I see someone, Yannick, listen please, we just want new content, please. Yeah, we're redoing the season system. That's a lot of work. If that's not for you, if what you want is a new map, then just wait a bit, because we have a whole DLC in Brooklyn that's lined up for you later on.
There are a few questions about throwback event. Will the stars disappear after the individual global events or after the whole global event period has ended? And honestly, I do not have the answer to this question now, but I will assume that you will need to spend the stars during that particular global event, because then the next set of exotics and targets will come with another event. So if you want this specific gear from a specific season, from a specific target, it's best if you spend the stars while it's still ongoing. And we will release the calendar with information, so you know when to look for specific targets and gear.
In the future, will we have new things for the hardcore character? I hope. I'd like to. That's something we've discussed, and we'll have to look at. Not for this update, but I think it would be cool to to take a new stab at hardcore and make it a bit more fun, and connect it to the new seasons as well. I see all of you asking for more stash space and more inventory space. We know. You can keep asking. We know. We've known for a while, and I know that some time ago I tried to explain that we were kind of at the maximum capacity, and we are exploring options, and we have options. So we'll see where that brings us, but we know it's an issue. We know we're implementing new gear every season, and some people want to collect everything. So we know it's a big request, and we'll see where those options bring us.
So another question about throwback event. How about named items and blueprints in throwback event? So unfortunately, there will be neither. No named items, also no blueprints. That is another thing that we can discuss to see if it's maybe will be. I'm just looking at Yannick because it's a very popular question, and now the chat is off.
I've lost everything.
Dory, George,
it's probably
please
because
help us.
I need to probably
Okay.
wake up the computer.
It's back. It's back
I'm
again.
too focused on the conversation.
So.
It happened last time already.
So yeah, no blueprints and named items this time around, but I don't know, maybe we'll think of something for the future.
Yeah, we should add them eventually. We need more storage of Fury gear. I don't think we want to do Fury gear. So that leaves us one option. Let us use textiles on more items, please. We need to see what we're going to do with textiles. It's a bit of a legacy thing from old times. I'm sure we can do more interesting things with it. The last hunter mask on the board. Can we have a clue, please? That thing right now is not connected to anything, so don't go out there and try to find a hidden hunter mask. There is no hidden hunter mask that haven't been discovered yet. That hook was added for other reasons. It sounds like a crazy tease. It's not. It's stupid game dev stuff.
Yes, people will overanalyze this.
Yeah, they will be like,
single
"Oh, is
phrase
Yannick
and-
teasing an incoming new hunter?"
Yeah, people are already chanting in the hunters. There were a few questions. I cannot see them right now, but I remember seeing a few about new conflict maps.
That'd be cool.
Thank you for very informative answer.
We don't have new conflict maps planned yet, but yeah, it'd be nice to add new ones. So if we find an opportunity to do that, we jump on it.
Open all cache button, please. I think this is the question about global events again, and from what I know, it's something we've been discussing, but it has not been done yet.
Yeah, I think it's outside of global events. I think when you have a bunch of caches, you want to be able to open all of them. I know we've discussed it already. There's a bunch of edge cases we need to be careful with. Like, what if you run out of space while you're opening the caches? Do we open them one by one? Do we open everything? Do we drop it on the floor? Do we, that there's a lot of risky situations that make this a bit much harder than it sounds. So that's why we haven't tackled it yet. But it is on our list of quality of life improvements we'd like to do at some point.
Once again, there are a lot of questions about new raids and incursions, and yeah, I joked last time that I need to print myself a t-shirt that has all this frequent question answered already. I mean, there are once again no plans, but maybe in the future, in the very distant future. I mean, nothing is off the table, right? So things can happen, but we do not have plans for immediate future. So The only thing that I would say you have 100% be sure that you can be looking forward to is the DLC.
Will the current global events and system for replaying old manhunts change in the future with the integration of these new features? No, so in the with the revamp of the seasons, we will still have global events. We will be able to run global events. So that's going to exist. The thing that you need to know is that the modifier and the global event cannot coexist. So if you want to play the global event, you will have to turn off the modifier for the duration of the global event. But otherwise, you can play it, no problem. And then the second part, the previous manhunt. No, these will remain available as well. So you will be able to play the legacy climax missions.
There was a question about call for backup and when it's going to be available again. So it's a very high priority issue. I do not have a fixed version in mind right now, but that is something that the team has been working on, and hopefully we'll get an update regarding the fixed version soon.
Please look at buffing through Patriot.
That's a good one. Is Skinner Yannick's alter ego?
Nah.
Yannick is too nice.
I would never be rogue. I don't think that's for me. Invaded Kenley. What would that look like? Invaded Kenley. I don't know. Will Yannick add us? Nope. How many of you? Oh, I just got 17 invites. That's okay. But I'm going to decline all of them. This is actually my private account where I play games with my real life friends, the few of them I have left.
That was just very sad. But there was a funny question, not really a question, but a statement that if Fei Lao is alive, we just need to blink to confirm it. Maybe it's just a hologram. I don't know. Maybe it's not even live. Maybe it's pre-recorded. Who knows?
Let's just bring back more characters from the dead. It's gonna make everybody happy. Fifth character slot, can we still get that? Yeah, even for premium credits. But that's the thing, we had planned to add a fifth character slot to go with the seasonal characters. We've removed seasonal characters, but the space we had allocated for that fifth character, we are looking at how we can reuse that. So when I talked about options for extra storage or whatever, this is kind of what's feeding into that, is that we had made ourselves comfortable with the idea of increasing the save size by adding a fifth character. So maybe that's something we can reuse. But again, it's as usual in game dev, it sounds similar, but we are not always comparing apples to apples.
There was a request for more Halloween horror theme everything. I also don't know if it's okay to hint at that or not, but I'm still gonna do it. Even though Yannick is looking at me.
Asking the wrong person.
Yeah. Just a small hint. There is. We won't have a Halloween event per se this time around, but new cosmetic items are coming that are gonna be Halloween themed, and there would be at least 2 opportunities for you to get new Halloween spooky gear. It's not really gear, it's cosmetics anyway. But yeah, more stuff is coming.
Omega Dragon, is there a way to get the previous collectibles comes from previous seasons if I was not playing when they came out? Yes, if you replay the climax mission of that season, you can unlock those collectibles, so that's your way of grinding them. So with the throwback event, you're going to get extra rewards for replaying this climax if you play during the project anyway. But in any time, honestly, even outside of that event, whenever you replay the climax, if you don't have all the collectibles, you are able to drop them from that climax.
Will XP Boost event be back? Yes, that's what we started the stream with today, and Yannick here confirmed that we are looking to have more of those events in the future, both X3 and X5. So for now, the priority is to make sure that the issue that prevented some of the players to really enjoy the XP Boost event this weekend is identified, fixed, and after that we hope to have those events on more or less regular basis throughout this season.
Yeah. Gosh, there was a question I wanted to take, but then chat was too fast and I lost it. I remember someone was asking about leagues or saying bring leagues back. Yes, so leagues are going to disappear with the new season model because they're just simply not compatible really with what we're doing. That being said, we want to revisit the ID. So maybe leagues will return at some point, or at least the idea of time challenges is something that's still interesting. So we'll need to think a bit about it. But while leagues will no longer exist when the next season starts, the essence of it might come back eventually. There's a lot of questions on the Brooklyn DLC. You know we're not going to answer those, right? You can keep asking, but cannot answer.
But there is one thing that we can actually confirm, that it's in fact going to be in New York, in Brooklyn.
I mean, Brooklyn is not just a code name for something that's actually another city.
But there was a question, because apparently there is another Brooklyn in a different state.
Is there?
Yes.
Oh, that would be
I
really
lost
sneaky
it.
of us.
That would be the plot twist
Actually,
of the century.
Brooklyn, Connecticut. No, it's not the same. Okay. Why are new incursions or raids not a priority for you guys? That's actually that's a good question, because it's and I don't have a good answer for you, but it's just we need to, like, just because we don't do something doesn't mean that we don't like it or we don't think it should be added to the game. There's a million things we would like to do with the game. Pretty much I think every single comment I see in chat of people saying add this, do that, I'm like, yep, that sounds cool. And that's why there's a lot of things. So we need to prioritize with the time we have, with the budgets we have, with what we think is best for the game, what is the most urgent to do right now, what's going to help us the most in a long run. Sometimes we prioritize things for a specific type of players, other times we prioritize other things. So it is really, and that's your question, why we don't think it's a priority. Well, it's just because right now we have other priorities. But once again, that doesn't mean we don't want to do it. If it were up to me, I would have 5,000 people working on this game and I would do all the things, but that would probably not be sustainable, unfortunately. So we need to unfortunately take it one thing at a time.
There was a question about all cosmetics from previous seasons, and I assume apparel event reruns. Do you know anything about?
No, I don't. Sorry.
But we know the people who probably know or can do something about it, so we'll talk to them and see.
How many people working on the game? Enough to keep going.
It's five raccoons in a trench coat.
It's that's part of the not interesting side of things, but it's we need to be realistic and reasonable with the size of the project and with how much revenues we can generate with this game, and then have the team that can keep going. So it's all a balancing exercise with all of those things. So we have the right amount of people now to do cool things and keep going, but not 5,000.
Okay, let's answer 2 last questions.
Any new specializations planned? No. Do I pick the second one as well?
Yeah, you absolutely can.
Well, I can try to just quickly go through some of them. Any changes coming for Descent? No, nothing planned right now. Any plans for new raid or incursion? I believe we've answered that. Checkpoints for Descent? No. It would be great, but it's. I think we've talked about that at some point. But it's. We've made the decision when we made it not to do that, which had implications in the way the mode was built. And in hindsight, I understand why people would want it, but it's not something we can retroactively add to the mode. It would be a tremendous amount of work to implement it now. So that's not something we can prioritize at this point. Option to change specialization on the fly. Yeah, that would be cool.
And I mean, from what I see, the majority of questions start repeating themselves. So I will just, unless there is anything else you want to bring up.
Who will be the composer for the music of the DLC? Ola. Always Ola. Except Countdown. Countdown was not Ola. He was busy. But everything else, always.
On this positive note, I'm just trying to wrap things up because it was actually Yannick who needed to attend to other things. But I will just repeat a few things once again. So, PTS preload starts tonight. PTS itself will be available tomorrow throughout the weekend. Usual time, usual day. I mean, this schedule is going to be released together with the patch notes right after the live stream, so you will be able to see all the changes, not only those that we talked about today, but everything else as well. And yeah, once we are ready to announce the season release date, we'll do it on our social media. There is no need to send us questions on Twitter. We will not be answering those, so make sure to look for answers on official channels. And with that being said, thank you so much for everyone who came to watch us today. Thank you so much, Yannick, for being an awesome co-host and helping me to answer all the questions.
Thank you for letting me talk out of my cave.
Nobody's gonna stop us anyway, right? Because it's just the two of us, George and Dory, what they can do.
And George was asking if you could let go of the green screens. I think we should keep going for another hour.
Actually,
just to teach him a lesson.
This time around we have two green screens because we're not sitting shoulder to shoulder anymore. We have a little bit more of space. So
that's true.
George had a very important task today. Good job.
Good George.
Good George. With that being said, thank you so much once again. Super happy to see such an engaged chat, and see you next time. Bye.
See you, everyone.
Done. I was watching you guys chat as they were talking. What we expected, really, right? There was a few. I should have took note of a few things I wanted to answer. But what do we think? Now I'm here. What do we think? Enforcer was a pre-order only item. Yes. Hey, how's it going on at Lamb? Girani, how you doing? Incoming, good day. Interesting answer about the raids, wasn't it? And what he went on to say after that. They're obviously in a position where they just, I think, don't have their budget to do anything like that. You're right about outsourcing the raids, Chemical. I know Iron Horse was outsourced, so probably cost quite a lot of money to do a raid. I wonder if they probably do the incursions themselves. Ah, Ken with the Prime as well. Thank you. First of the month. Thank you, thank you. Did I miss any others? Don't think it did. No content equals no news. I see a lot of negativity. I don't want to touch on the negativity because half of it I feel like we've answered a million times over. It's getting draining. There is new content coming. There's a DLC coming. Like, we can say it until we're blue in the face. There is a DLC coming. A DLC. A brand new map. Brooklyn. New content is being worked on. There's a whole new DLC coming. This will be soon. This is next, not next season, because we haven't gotten season 2 yet, but this is the season after next that we get this. We've known about it for some time. But there is new content coming. Blueprints, Mena. Yes, there's no blueprints, unfortunately. Just exotics. So let's recap. Basically what we already know. They have made some adjustments to the balancing on the phase 1 of the PTS. Phase 2 of the PTS goes live tomorrow, and we've got a lot of changes and rebalancing. They hear us about the nerfs. Yannick don't actually think the nerfs are that bad. I agree with him, 100%. But they are hearing us and they are seeing adjustments, so they kind of like met us halfway on some. We get to test it all out tomorrow anyway. So we spoke about all of the changes coming in the PTS Phase 2 tomorrow, a few adjustments to the seasonal priority objectives, a few changes to some modifiers which needed changing, especially that Stellite coating. That's changing. A lot, and it's not. I noticed on that as well, which did 60% damage reduction instead of 19 hours as well, which was really good to see. So I'm excited to test it tomorrow. We'll go live tomorrow as soon as the PTS is live. I'll have a few hours on it, test all this changes out. The exotic Striga will be working as intended tomorrow. They spoke about this throwback event. It starts on Tuesday. We're gonna. It's in line with those global events. I think it's like 4 days for every global event. You can do the throwback event, which is the climax mission from the first 10 seasons. Each one is going to reward you a guaranteed exotic from that season. But there's also going to be caches, and if you go to the global event vendor, you'll be able to buy caches to get those exotics as well for that season. That starts Tuesday, and it'll run through all 10 seasons. There's been 11 though, but they're not including the current one because we're currently on it. So it's the 10 prior. That's it, really. They took a lot of questions. The answer to raids and incursions was just interesting because they kind of confirmed budgeting and not a big enough team for that sort of content, maybe. That's what it sounded like to me. But they'd love to have it. If it was up to Yannick, he'd have 5,000 people working on this game. We'd have everything that we want. His words. But it's not up to Yannick. But they do have a good enough team, big enough team now to do good things with the game, which is what they're doing. And they want to, they spoke about prioritizing stuff, like they know we want content, they know we want the DLC. We're getting the DLC, just to confirm again, new content is coming. But there's other stuff they want to work on as well, because there's lots of improvements they can do with the game to make it better. Yeah, I'm hoping to do more of the climax missions as well. Ah, counts with a gift. Thank you. Gin with a prime. Thank you. It's free now. Kicking off our first stream of the month. Appreciate you. Let me just record that as well. Counts. Thank you. Thank you. No outfits in the throwback stuff. No. Literally just exotics from that season. No named items, no outfits. But they said they know the people that deal with all that. They'll speak to them. Hopefully something in the future. I'd love to see some old outfits. Thing is, you can buy them, and they're probably going to push you to buy them, aren't they? I think it's hard from the dev's point of view to make Kenley a legendary. I think a lot. It's hard from the dev's point of view. I don't know. Kenley doesn't seem to be on the radar, does it? What I mean by hard from their point of view, they've probably got so much they want to work on and they just can't. But we know the plan. We know they're currently working on seasons. We know they're working on a DLC. I imagine a lot of content's being made for the DLC. Like that new incursion that they wouldn't really touch on. And they said to take with a grain of salt. I imagine that's something that's planned next year with the DLC. So, be interesting to see what they work on after that DLC comes out. And hopefully the DLC does well, because if it does well, they'll probably get more funds to do more. I'm guessing the whole Ubisoft situation isn't helping right now either. Need to do something with Candy, don't they? It's like it was a wasted space. Do you think the EB will be in the pool of Exotic in the event? They say Exotic will be a... No, the EB won't. I'm trying to think. We'll get a video out. I'll focus the video on that event. So I'll wait until they drop all their information. I'll go and get some food now. And we'll do a recap video as always after these. And they said they were going to release a schedule for this event. Throwback event with all the different exotics you can get. So we'll cover it in our video later tonight. I'll have a video out a few hours time. We'll check that. Won't be wasted when you're running out of Lady Roxy. Bring it, hello. Where's your times? We've been waiting. We want to get back on it this weekend. Chop chop. Can I translate that? It will be the one from free at DC chat. Don't know what you mean. So I was Mr. Nobody. Same. Very happy they're still working on the game. Someone did mention before, it must be so hard for these devs. They must have seen the Twitch chat at their end. Putting up with all the internet trolls and stuff and haters. It is hard. It is. And I think they cope very well with it. They really do. They do great. Because I sure as hell has had enough of it, and I don't even work for them. It's draining. It's so draining. It takes the life out of you. They cope with it very, very well. They don't deserve it. No one deserves it. Putting up with you in chat as well. Hello, I know, right? Bonding with that, yeah. Right, we're gonna end it there. I will do a catch up later. Thank you for tuning in today. We always do these streams and co-stream and they're live. And chat about it. We knew it was not going to be anything huge today, but still excited for tomorrow's stream. So I'm aiming to go live about midday or just before. I think the PTS went live about midday UK 2 weeks ago. So we're looking at getting on it as soon as it goes live tomorrow. It's not going to be an all-day one. I went for 24 hours 2 weeks ago. That ain't going to happen. But I will stream for a good few hours. We'll test out some of the new stuff, the modifiers, the Striga, the gear set, the brand set. We'll test out what we can tomorrow for a few hours. We'll cover some videos for the weekend. And that's tomorrow's plan. And then we'll head into next week. Next week, I'll get back to 3 streams. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Because I'm over my cold now. So we're well. Got a new game to play next Friday as well. Someone sent me a key and asked me to play a game. So we're going to be playing something new next week also. And Matt, if you're still there, Matt, let's try and maybe have a flawless descent attempt on Monday or Wednesday. Let me know. Might try and get a raid stream in as well also next week, because we haven't raided in a couple of months now. I have to see who's about. But yeah, I'm going to head out. Thank you for tuning in today. We'll catch you on Monday's No, we'll catch you tomorrow. Oh, on Monday. We'll catch you tomorrow. Hey, no worries, Marty. Thank you for tuning in. Have a nice day, Johnny. Good day, everyone. Thanks for watching. Peace. See you tomorrow.